Got a Generac here. We're getting ready to service this today. So we got to do the oil change, the air filter, and the spark plugs. All right, start. We're going to remove the panel. So let's go ahead and lift the lid up here. Pop this panel out. And we'll just set it aside, right? So go back on as we're done. All right, we got the panel off. We're going to hit this switch. So we'll flip it to the off position. I've already done that. Then we'll go in here and we'll turn this off. So I've already done that. I got a flash red light. So basically, and then there's a button that's actually on the back here, and I turned it off. So we've actually turned everything to the off position. The unit will not kick on. And now what we need to do is drain the oil. All right. So now it's going to change the oil. So we got to drain it first, right? So what we'll do here, we'll pull this dipstick out just enough, let the airflow down, remove the oil cap. We'll just loosen it up for that one. And then we're going to undo this little piece right here. And for this, I'll be using this little container. And I got a couple of weights from inside. They're 3 pounds. I don't use them. We've already warmed it up. All right. So put that weight right there. Feels good right there. Put this one right here. There we go. So as long as we got it angled down, it's draining. It's a slow process. Everything is shut down. Everything is turned off. So the unit can't kick on. That would be bad. And what we're going to do is let this go and drain the oil for a little bit. We'll come back. We'll pull the filter, make sure all that oil is clean, and get everything sealed back up. And I'll show you how that happens. So let's let the oil drain and we'll come back to it. All right, so we're still draining, as you can see. Just a slow process. But we did, let me tell you kind of up to speed how I got here. So I pulled up the Generac app, was able to pull the model number, punch that model number into ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT for what type of oil do I use, what's the torque specs on the spark plugs, and we'll replace those, air filter, and it gave it all to me. So on the oil, it's going to be 5W30. No matter what the temperature range, that's what it recommended, and it pulled that from the manuals of the Generac. So, and for my model number, so it's spot on. The spark plugs, they call for, it's, I believe, 18 foot-pounds of torque. I'll double check that when it comes time to the spark plugs and we're doing that. I will tell you exactly the torque specs I used. And so once we get the oil changed, the capacity of this unit is 1.9 quarts. So we know how much oil to put into it. And I'm just using the synthetic 5W30 and we'll get that changed. And once I get that changed, I'll be able to reset anything that pops up on this unit. So I was getting an alert, tell you how this kind of happened. I was getting this inspect battery alert. I went into the maintenance app and I inspected the battery, which I did. And then I looked up on the ChatGPT and it told me, hey, no, you need to actually clear it from here. So I came out here, followed the process for the battery inspection, did check the battery, did inspect it, make sure there's no corrosion or anything like that. And it all checked out. I cleared the code, and so now it's gone. So now we're back to a clear app. But this maintenance we're doing here is yearly, and you can kind of see the oil dissipating. But it's pretty clear. It looks like almost brand new, but it's probably ran about 3 hours total. But like I said, it's still recommended that even if it hadn't ran for 24 hours, then to go ahead and perform the annual maintenance based on the annual versus the hours ran. So that's what we're doing today. So let me get this capped off here and the oil, and we'll proceed to removing the filter, and I'll show you that also. All right, so we've almost got the oil drained. It's come down to a very slow trickle. Just took some time. Just got to be patient. You know, it's no big hurry. You can see I use the weights to kind of keep the hose at a downward angle. So that part is done, and now we'll move on to the filter. All right, so now we've got the oil drain. We'll go ahead and leave that open, leave that connected, and now we're going to move the filter. So we need a couple paper towels for sure. There you can kind of see I put some paper plates here. Just anything that in case the oil wants to run down there. We're going to clean all this up at the end anyway. But just in case, if the oil does hit the plate, I can just push it off into the tank. So let's get this off here. You can see got a little oil raining already. And that's what that was for. Worked out pretty well. Bring some in there. Put that right there. All right. So kind of see it's kind of dripping. It's going to leave that set up that right there. Let it kind of drain out. I'm going to be patient. We'll let it all drain out and then we'll come back and we'll put the new filter on. All right. As we get down here, you kind of see this is where the oil filter will be going. You got all the oil out. Let's go ahead. This is just two paper plates taped together, but it did the job. It did what it's supposed to do. Was keep the oil, if it, all possible, out of there. We're going to clean all this up again, and I'll show you a little magic trick on that one. So that would be something to look forward to. So let's grab the oil filter. Let's just wipe our area down here. Just make sure we got a clean cleaning surface here. Oh, right down there, just in case any oil drips. So what we'll do, we'll just take a little bit of the oil we got here, slightly run around that. So just kind of get a little self on the filter. You see that? Alright. Put there. Get it tight. I think it wants you to go about 3/4 tighter. So I just get it to where it feels snug. That feels great. On there good. And that's good enough for me. So now let's move on to getting the oil back in the unit, and we'll move on to the other maintenance items that are doing today. So we see we got the filter in, snug. Now we'll just move our weights that was holding down our hose. Put that back on here. That matters. Let's go. Make sure there's a rubber O-ring on there, so we'll put a little dab of oil on it. That's snug. Check over here. Yeah, there it is. All right, go ahead and in there. It's all for it. I'll keep that out of the way. Not a big mess of oil there. And now we're moving on to putting the oil in the unit. All right, so now it's time to top it off the oil. It's 1.9 quarts. We're using SAE 5W30 fully synthetic. So good thing is if I did happen to overfill it, I could literally just pop that hose back down, drain out some oil before I started. So, but I like to have it at the top of the dipstick, right where it says that's it. That's where I like to put it. So let's see what we got. I think we're actually really good. What we'll do is we'll probably run it for a little bit, come back and check it. All right, so now we've got the oils changed. Check the oil levels, it's all good. Now we're gonna do the air filter. So it's just right here. There's a little clamp right there. Undo it, lift up, push back, pull up. That usually pops off. Pull this out. Get the other one in. Good, get that one. Just stick it back in there. Slide that down. There's two things that stick out back here. There they are, notches. Put the clamp back up. Boom, that one's done. So now onto the spark plugs. In case you've never done this, so spark plug right there, the gap, that's it. So you slide it in there. So